In this stream, I'll move this back up to the top. You have your Midsummer Night's Dream resources. So some of y'all told me when we did Beowulf that you had trouble keeping track of where the document was, which made sense because it was in one kind of random spot. So this time I've given you a document here that I'll try to keep at the top of this stream where it has all of your resources that you'll need for the play. Including the top one is the full text of the document that you'll be reading. The most difficult part of this play is really just keeping track of the characters. So I've given you 2 different character charts to help you keep track of them. So let's look at this first one for just a second. So there are 3 different groups of characters. The first is the court. So these are the rich, important royal people. The most important one is Theseus, because he's the duke, meaning like the king basically of Athens. He's in charge of everybody. And then his soon-to-be wife, Hippolyta, remember she's the queen of the Amazons. So she's the one that he defeated her people in war and took her back basically as a prisoner to be his wife. And then the 4 teenagers here, the most important one is Hermia, because her story starts the action of the play. Her father wants her to marry Demetrius, and she's refusing because she's in love with Lysander. So Hermia and Lysander are in love with each other, but Demetrius is in love with Hermia, and he has permission from her father to marry her. And then Helena, the other girl, is in love with Demetrius. So that's what all those arrows are. The main fairies, there's the king Oberon and the queen Titania. Remember that they're fighting over this human child that they've stolen. So even though he doesn't show up in the play at all, he's kind of the key to their fight. And Oberon, his court jester his real name is Robin Goodfellow, but he's always referred to as Puck. So I'll call him Puck. So he's, in some ways, he's the comic relief of the play, but he's also the one who performs all of the magic in the play. The other fairies are just Titania's servants, so it doesn't really matter. And then the last group here, these are the actors who perform the play within a play. So they are throughout Midsummer, they're rehearsing for their play, Pyramus and Thisbe, that they're going to perform for Theseus's wedding. These are like blue collar workers. You can see a carpenter, a joiner, which might be like a plumber. And they're considered lower class. They would not have been able to afford to get an education. So they're supposed to provide the comic relief for the play because they are uneducated, and we're supposed to kind of make fun of them for being stupid. Probably most of Shakespeare's plays, they include these lower class characters. And one of the main reasons that they're in the play is just to make the audience laugh at how stupid they are. So it's pretty elitist, but sometimes it is genuinely funny. I've given you this version of the character chart just to help you put a face with a name, because I'm going to be streaming the movie for y'all here. If you can't stay through the whole class to watch the movie clips, I have a link to a production of a play. So my movie version, I had to buy it, so I can't give you access to it, but this one is free through YouTube, so you can watch this one if you need to get caught up. No Fear Shakespeare is really cool. If you're doing the reading on your own, you might want to look into using this. So for the entire play is printed here, or not printed. And it always has the original text on the left and then a modern translation of it on the right. So this will help you get through the plot of the play, but make sure if you're going to be reading No Fear Shakespeare, you cannot quote the modern text because those aren't the real quotes. So if you're reading it, you'll need to go and find the equivalent over here in the original text for your quotes. But if you have to read it on your own, this would be a good resource to help you understand. The context was that assignment you did Monday, your vocab list from Thursday. So that's everything you need out of this one. Now in classwork, there are 3 new midsummer assignments. I'm going to have you look at the theme tracker first, and then go ahead and keep that up because you will be typing on it today. So I've given you the 4 essay prompts so that you can be paying attention to these things as you're reading the play. So let's look at all 4. Number 1, the play is divided into 2 separate settings, the court and the woods. In a well-written essay, explain the importance of each setting and how each contributes to the meaning of the work as a whole. So this will be a 4-paragraph essay. You'll write one of your body paragraphs about the court and then one about the woods. Number 2, in the play, Lysander famously declares, the course of true love never did run smooth. These numbers here, this is Act 1, Scene 1, line 136. That's how you cite a quote in a play, and we'll go over that more later. In a well-written essay, discuss the complicated romantic relationships and how they contribute to the meaning of the work as a whole. I think this is the one that most people are going to choose to do. Number 3, so the play is called Midsummer Night's Dream, but there's never actually a dream in the play. The reason it's called a dream is because after the characters have been released from the magic love potions that the fairies have put them under, they, not believing that it's magic, they just all assume that they've been having a dream. So for this essay, you would be explaining the role of magic in dreams and how they contribute to the meaning of the work as a whole. I think this one's probably going to be the most difficult one to do, but it could be kind of fun to think about. And number 4, strict power structures control most of the characters in the play, including whom they will marry. In a well-written essay, discuss the role of gender dynamics and how this contributes to the meaning of the work as a whole. So this would be thinking about who has the power in the play, and it's the men. So you would be looking at the different situations in which men have power over women in the play. As you read, almost every day at the end of the reading, so at the end of class, we'll come back and talk about the information that we can include for your essay planning. So we'll plan ideas for each of the 4 essays. So leave that one pulled up because we will come back to that later. And then open up the Act 1 reading questions. So as we're going to go through Act 1 today, you're just going to fill out these 4 reading questions. Today we're going to get through Scene 1, so you're actually only doing the first 2. And then we'll do Scene 2 tomorrow. All right, so if you haven't already, go ahead and pull up the full text from the resources guide. Looks like this. The play actually starts in the PDF on page 8, so you can type it in that way and get there. You can change the zoom by pushing this little square at the side.